Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, May 28th, 2025, and I feel like I'm a little bit overdue for this video. As many of you know, I was in Indianapolis for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. It's a tough day to talk about this, especially after what the Knicks put out there last night. Watching that game, watching Game 4, seeing the way the officials, the officiating took over the fucking game, and thinking about how the Knicks, listen, one way or another, I can't imagine the Knicks win that game yesterday, but the fact they never really got a fucking fair shake at it because of the way the officials took over the game and, pretty much handed the Indiana Pacers a win on a silver platter yesterday, kind of took the piss out of my little trip. But you know what? I still had a great time. I was in the building for the Knicks defeating the Pacers in Game 3. And I'm starting to think, I feel like it's almost my duty to make my way to Game 5 at MSG because, I don't know, seems like the Pacers can't play basketball when I'm in the arena. So if you think I should go to Game 5, maybe comment down below. I don't know. Or you don't have to. Or you can just sit there, watch this video, hate me, and tell me, hey, man, your content sucks. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to make this more interactive. But, again, I'm a one-take guy, so I don't do more than one take on this stuff. But I wanted to break down, my whole trip to Indianapolis, my experience in the Gainsbridge Fieldhouse, and some of the things I noticed along the way. I want to start doing more videos like this where I travel to different arenas and really break it down afterwards of how I felt about, the stadium ops and everything. And we're going to start, this is one of the first videos I'm doing of this, and it's the Gainsbridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis, Indiana, home of the Indiana Pacers, home of the greatest women's basketball player of all time, Caitlin Clark. Let's get into it. Before I go into that, honestly, I need to talk about Terre Haute, Indiana, where I was staying. Obviously, I was there for somber reasons. My uncle passed away, and I don't want to go too deep into that again. I've talked about it a lot in my live stream, which, if you guys want, I live stream every single day, do a little chatting stream. Please subscribe, hit the bell if you ever want to join in on the streams. We discuss pretty much everything around here. Terre Haute, little town, not a lot in it, very middle of America town, but the Terre Haute Resort Casino, where it was right down the road from my hotel, is one of the nicer casinos I've ever been to in my entire life. It's a small, it's not a big casino, but a great place if you're going to watch sports. I highly suggest it if you ever go to Indianapolis, if you're ever staying in that area to go to a sporting event. Terre Haute's an hour away. It's not a quick trip, but there's a good casino there if you're looking to do that. To me, I've always said the best place to stay when you're on vacation is at a casino resort. Not necessarily for the gambling purpose, but the fact that you're pretty much in a place that's a 24-hour giant convenience store. I'm always a big believer of staying at casino resorts, but that was a good one, and I just wanted to shout them out. It was a great time. Yeah, so that's that. Now let's get into the actual experience at the Gainsbridge Arena. Now, I realize I just referred to it as the Gainsbridge Arena. It's the Gainsbridge Fieldhouse. I'm not trying to disrespect Indiana or the Pacers or their building at all. I said that wrong, but I'm a one-take guy. I don't edit anything. We just fucking shoot the shit and keep going. My first thought when I hit Indianapolis, I'm pulling off the exit, and the first thing I see is Lucas Oil Stadium, right? So Lucas Oil Stadium is home of the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts. And let me tell you, Lucas Oil Stadium might be the biggest building I've ever seen in my entire life in terms of the width, the height. And listen, I live in New York. There's some fucking skyscrapers. I understand this building's not bigger than a fucking skyscraper, but in terms of arena building where they play sports, there might not be a larger building that in terms of width more than anything, and I guess the height too, then Lucas Oil Stadium. That thing is massive. It was a shocking piece of architecture that I was looking at. That building, huge. You can't miss it. You see it from 3 or 4 miles away. It feels like it is a massive building. It is a very intimidating building. It's a shame that a terrible football team in the Indianapolis Colts play there. But anyway, moving forward. So I got dropped off right in front of Gainsbridge Fieldhouse, and one of the first things I noticed is there's a lot of places to go have a drink before the game. It's a very good area to, like, go out before the game, pre-game, probably after the game. It's lit out there. And I noticed I went out after the game, so I can go deep into that after. I felt like the experience outside the arena was fantastic. I really did. I think it's a very good environment. If you're going to a road game, it's a great place to go. If you're looking for a place to travel, I highly suggest it, because before the game, you're going to have a good time. You're going to have a drink or two and then go inside the arena. So then when I started heading towards the arena, one of the things I noticed was security was great. Like, security was very quick, efficient. The one problem I have with security, and I think this is more of a people of Indiana problem, is that, and I'm not trying to like talk down on the people of Indiana. I think as a New Yorker, we're a little bit more pushy than, I guess it's more of a polite thing. There was 4 different lines for security, and people just weren't switching lines. It was starting to get like annoying because people weren't filling in the line. Like, maybe it's a polite thing that people are like, you know what, like, I'm already on this line, but I ended up getting in pretty quickly because, everybody was just standing around, like, picking their noses and shit. So I shifted my way through the lines and got to the front and got into the arena. And I will say, first glance inside the arena, it's beautiful. Gainsbridge Fieldhouse has a beautiful, like, structure. A giant, like, what's the word? A giant lobby area where they were doing the NBA on TNT. It was truly like the first thing I thought of is like, this is a beautiful arena. It is a really nice like meeting grounds before the game. It was phenomenal. I thought it was beautiful. Let me move on to when I got to my seat. Actually, before I get into my seat, the seating area, the vendors. So vendors are all over the place at this place. Like, they had beer. They were selling beer everywhere. The vendors are quick, efficient. Same thing. So the vendor I went up to, I got a couple high noons from him, which I think it's great that they sell high noons at the game. They don't do that here in New York, which, like, high noon is a great option. They didn't have Surfside. I would have liked the Surfside, but they didn't have it. So the vendor, I paid whatever. I paid for my high noons, and the tip thing came up. And I hit 15% like I usually do. And the guy was stunned. And now I'm going to have a bone to pick with the people of Indiana. Because the vendor looked at me, he's like, damn, 15%? I don't know if I ever got that before. And I don't know if it's the problem that everybody in Indiana is just broke, or like, you guys don't have any fucking manners over there. But 15% is pretty, for a guy who's holding the beers walking around the arena, that 15% seems like low to give a guy. And the fact that he's never gotten that before, it's a shame on you, the people of Indiana. I can't say I'm surprised, especially a fan base that, is going to stab Knicks fans. I'm not surprised that you people wouldn't tip a guy who's, doing you a service. And I heard that a lot about Indiana, that, like, the tips, even, like, I went to a restaurant and they were like, they seemed kind of stunned when I tipped them like 20%. So I don't know what's going on in Indiana. I don't know if you guys are just broke or if or whatever it is, but tipping is very important, and tipping is the polite thing to do. But anyway, let's keep going with the experience in the field house. So I did a walk around the arena. I did a full walk around, and it doesn't take that long. Like, it feels like the building's not that wide, so you can walk around the whole building and pretty much get to whatever seat you're going to. It felt quick and efficient, and one of the big things I look at when it comes to an arena is how wide the concourses is, like how fan-friendly the concourses are. And let me tell you, these concourses were very fan-friendly. They were, you were able to walk pretty freely. You were able to get around, there was no log jams or anything. Like, it was very easy to get around. So that was good. I got to my seat, and I have one big complaint about the stadium ops for the Gainsbridge Fieldhouse. The speaker system and the microphone that they talk into, it doesn't add up. Like, they need to switch the volumes, because when the music's playing and the guy is speaking into the speaker, you can't hear what he's saying, like the PA announcer. So they need to figure that shit out, because it was very annoying. You could never hear what the PA guy was saying if music was playing. Also, another quick thing about the Indiana area, the Indianapolis area, You know what was the most popular jersey I saw all weekend? Most popular merch. Again, not going to cut that because I'm a one-take guy. Most popular merch, most popular fucking jersey I saw the whole weekend. It was Caitlin Clark. There was Caitlin Clark gear every single where I went. So, like, Caitlin Clark seems to be the most popular athlete in Indiana right now. But back to my experience with the arena. Walking around, everything wasn't clogged up. So another thing, the concession stands were very efficient. The people in the concession stands, they ran everything well. All the food seemed to be pretty much ready, on hand. They were pretty much ready to go. Very quick to get you back to your seat and everything. I have no complaints about the arena itself. Now, let me go into what it was like being a Knicks fan there. Now, I'm wearing my Knicks gear. I'm walking around, obviously, like, I'm on enemy territory, and I know, like, you got to be a little bit careful. You can't be a total douche when you're on the road, but, you know, you have to support your team a little bit. The first thing I noticed, nobody gave me any flack. Like, I go to the bathroom, nobody, at least, like, if you're in New York, like, and somebody was wearing a Pacers thing, like, you'd say, like, oh, like, you guys suck or something. Like, nobody really bothered me in that, from that standpoint. So I get to my seat, right? So here's the first story of my experience of one of the things that happened to me. I see this fucking giant goofball standing behind me, kind of like me, wearing his big Pacers chain, you know, wearing his, like, he was wearing sunglasses, you know, kind of like the epitome of what I do here with all my teams. And I go to the seat, there's a Pacers shirt, yellow Pacers shirt in the seat, and maybe I went a little bit overboard here, but, you know, I'm trying to set the tone. I go to my seat, I see the yellow Pacers shirt, I'm like, does anybody want this? I'm looking around, nobody's asking for the shirt, and I just threw it. I'm like, fuck that, and sat in my seat. You know, this big guy with his big, like, I got my Knicks one here. He's got the same one, but it's in the Pacers. He's like, hey, man, why'd you just throw it on the ground? Why are you disrespecting us like that? And I turned around, I'm like, excuse me? Guy's like, don't be throwing our shit on the ground, like, getting all mad. And listen, to be fair, a little disrespectful on my part, but I'm trying to set the tone. And I was like, all right, fucking beer muscles, like, what do you want to do here? Like, you want to get kicked out before the game even starts? Like, whatever, is what it is. But I owned up to that one. I apologized. I was like, listen, I didn't know anybody wanted it. If somebody wanted it, I was happy to give it away. I kind of just, like, was feeling myself a little bit and fucking chucked it. So that's on me. So right away, kind of set the tone in the arena. Obviously the Knicks didn't realize it because they didn't show up for the first part of the game, but it is what it is. Now, to the second story. So I'm going to skip over the whole first half because that part of the game was fucking miserable. By, like, the second half, so I'm walking around the building after the first half, in between, like, at halftime, that's what that would be called. And I found a little section of Knicks fans, like, on the other side of the building. They had, like, this aisleway where I could stand up. I was standing at a table, you know, watching the game. I had a perfect view of the game from where I was standing all of a sudden. And I only went there because there was a bunch of Knicks fans. This is when things started to heat up. This is when the Knicks made their little run. So I'm standing there, I'm watching the game, and this dude behind me. I've talked about this guy on our stream, and on our stream, whatever, our stream. We can call it our stream. Where I discussed how this guy was giving us shit and, you know, freaking out that we were there. And this guy ended up causing me a little bit of a problem. So as the game went on, he's talking more and more shit, going, get back to New York, get back to New York. And I'm turning around going, I can't wait. I don't want to fucking be here in Indiana ever again. This place sucks. So, whatever, we're getting into it, the usual banter. And the Knicks come back, they go up too, and he's freaking out still. He's like, you fucking pieces of shit, get out of here. Then I turn around and look at him, and I hit him with an awesome burn. I don't know where I came up with this, but I did. I go, just because the manager of the grocery store you work at didn't let you get off tomorrow doesn't mean you have to be mad at me. And this guy had a fit. He's like, I don't work at a fucking grocery store, fuck you. Like, I have a great, like, I'm like, listen, man, like, how angry you're getting, it's just making me believe more and more that you work at a grocery store. So, not that there's anything wrong with that, but, you know, it's a great chirp. It worked. It got him all upset. And he decides, you know, with about 3 minutes left in the game, I hear right down at me. Fucking a spit aimed right my way. And it went over my head, luckily, and didn't hit anybody. But I looked at him, I'm like, did you just fucking spit on me? And the guy like was not saying anything. He wouldn't even look at me at this point. So I start going around to the staircase to go up and confront him. And the security guard stops me. He goes, listen, listen, listen. He goes, I already took care of it. He goes, I called the guys up there. He goes, do not go over there. I'm going to have to take you out. I'm like, I mean, take you out of the building, not take me out. He wasn't going to kill me. So I was like, okay, fair play. I'll stay here. I'm enjoying my win. I'm enjoying the fact that the Knicks finally won a game in the series. And that guy got kicked out of the arena, probably not allowed back ever again. And, you know, on his grocery store salary, probably couldn't afford to go back anyway. Now, other than that one guy, the overall experience with the Pacers fans were really not that bad. You know, you had a couple fucking popcorn muscle, like, drunk fucking frat kids that were coming up to me going, hey, man, the Knicks suck. Like, talking all this shit. And, you know, I didn't really care. Like, it's middle of Indiana. I'm not worried about getting my ass kicked by anybody there. But I'm walking to where my Uber was picking me up, right? After the game. So this is the second story. This is the only other story I got. I'm walking to the Uber, and these group of kids next to me are all wearing Pacers gear, and the kid in the front's like, yo, we should find fucking trash and throw it at, like, Knicks fans, because, you know, they did that to us when we were in New York, and, like, it's fucked up, which I don't condone one bit. Wouldn't condone that for a second. Don't think it's cool. But, you know, I'm walking away. I'm walking to my Uber. I look at the kid. I tap him on the shoulder. I go, hey, man, I'm standing right here if you want to throw trash at me. Like, I'd love to do it. I'd love to film you fucking throwing trash on me so I can go to one of the games for free. And he goes, oh, no. All of a sudden, he backed right off. He's like, oh, no, man. I was just kidding. Like, his big tough guy act fucking went right down the tube. So, a lot of popcorn muscles in Indiana. You know, a lot of big talk. Got a guy spitting on me. Guy saying he was going to throw garbage at me and didn't. So, but honestly, for the most part, the people of Indiana were good to me. A lot of friendly banter. A lot of good things. I was sitting in a section with a dad and his son. And the dad was, like, fucking on fire the whole game. Every time Jalen Brunson missed a shot, it was like the best thing that ever happened to him, because like probably like the mom of his kid is like banging somebody else now. But you know, I get it. I understand. But overall, like Indiana, great building. The people are whatever. Like, you know, it's real. Like, it's Indiana. Like, you know, people aren't smart there. Like, so I really wasn't worried. Like the gift to gab thing, nobody really burned me at all. Like, but it was a good experience. I highly suggest it if you're looking to make a trip somewhere. Go to Indiana. The people can insult you because they're too dumb. And great arena. So overall, that's what I have to say. Gamebridge Arena, I give it about a 9 out of 10 for the experience. Only thing I didn't like was how hard it was to find an Uber after the game. That's the only thing. Other than that, highly suggest it. Guys, I always say I'm going to do more daily videos like this, but I really have to. Be sure to like and subscribe for more of my trips, for my live streams. If you have anything you want to say to me, say it in the comments below. Follow your dreams. Have a great day. Always call an Uber after you're drinking.